Hi, it's good to be with you again on Power Wheel as we bring you more activities by operators and stakeholders in the power sector to improve electricity supply in the country. I am Sheung Olagunju. You're welcome. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed, recently convened a meeting with generation companies, GENCOs, to review the free governor control mechanism initiated by the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola. The meeting, held at the hydroelectric power station, Shiroro, Niger State, and was a platform to appraise and score the performance of the free governor control mechanism by both TCN and the GENCOs.
The TCN MD said this is in line with the quest for a sustainable grid stability, where all the players in the power sector will operate in compliance with the grid code and the system frequency is maintained within the operational limits of 49.50 up to 50.50 Hz to drastically reduce incidences of high frequency and system collapses.
We are in a challenging environment. The power sector is in a bad shape, you know it. And we have to be innovative, we have to think creative, we have to do everything we can to solve the problem. And in solving the problem, we have to think out of the box. And one of the thinking out of the box is what we have done in terms of achieving frequency control. But that's not enough. There are several other things that we also need to do. And one of the things that we have done recently, which we are going to announce to you, is that we have simulated the investment requirement of TCN to wheel up to 20,000 megawatts of electricity. We have not only simulated, but we have been able to raise the investment that we can put in place 20,000 megawatts of capacity of TCN. That's what we have. We have raised the investment, we have the money. It's not that we are looking for the money.
Mr. Mohammed said having a synergy between TCN and the GENCOs is the key, as they are the ones who will drive the eligible customers' declaration, and this would facilitate load expansion.
We are working together to see that this market change. We are not going to leave the market like that, and we are not going to continue to leave the situation. Remember my speech at the meeting in Oshogo? I said that if we continue the way we are, in the next few years, there will be no investment in generation. Because there cannot be investment in generation when the existing capacity, we are not picking them, we are running them down. There's no way additional investment will come in. So we have to do things differently to ensure that we overcome this problem.
Responding to questions, the General Manager System Operation SO, Engineer Jimo M. Lawal, said the meeting was convened in good faith to rub minds on the way forward and not a platform for a blame game in the value chain, and commended the participants for playing according to the rules guiding the free governor control mechanisms, despite the slight hitches initially experienced.
The meeting actually was on a grid stability scorecard. Okay. As you must have observed, we actually sought to share understanding with the stakeholders on how best to keep on the free governor control action. Okay, that was initiated by the interim managing director CEO of TCN. It's gratifying to observe that the GENCOs have been cooperating, and we expect they will continue to cooperate so that we can strengthen our hold.
On the interview segment today, the Power Wheel crew spoke to the Director General of the National Power Training Institute of Nigeria, NAPTIN, Mr. Ahmed Bolaji Nagode.
National Power Training Institute of Nigeria, NAPTIN, was established in 2009 with the mandate to build capacity and coordinate training activities in the power sector. NAPTIN inherited the training centers of the defunct monopoly, NEPA PHCN, and developed over time, up to the present moment, facilities that are required for training in the power sector. NAPTIN is an agency of the federal government of Nigeria under the aegis of the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing. Yes, certainly we do. And I must say that we can assess this in the three areas of training management. One, infrastructural capacity. We have state-of-the-art and world-class training facilities built over the years in terms of simulators, power laboratories, demonstration plants, and classroom facilities. We also have hostel accommodation for our trainees in Lagos and also Kanji presently. We are equally coming up with accommodation facility for our trainees in AFAM Training Center. In this year's appropriation, we have allocation for development of an hostel facility in our Jos Training Center. We've made it a tradition that every year we build on our facilities. The role of NAPTIN is to bridge the gap between academic qualification and skills required in order to build career in the power sector. We turn engineers to professionals. What we do is that we focus on hands-on and practical training. And we have a program, NGSDP, that is NAPTIN Graduate Skill Development Program. It's a one-year program that graduates of engineering, especially in mechanical and electrical engineering, undergo in our facilities for one solid year in order to build competencies and skills to allow them to go on the network and then practice in the power sector. It's divided into 3 modules. The first module, 1 month in the classroom and 3 months on the field. And this will be repeated 3 times, making it 9 months on the field and 3 months in the classroom. By the time they are through with this program, they are well equipped to really go on to the network to practice as professionals in the power sector. And this gives them a competitive edge over other graduates of engineering who have not gone through this program. The product of the program have been employed in the various utilities, and it's more or less like having them taken from the shelves. Instead of the utilities to really undergo the exercise of having to train them, we have already we are offering them already made products for them to really apply their trade in the power sector. At the end of the program, they are awarded certificate. Those who are out with merit certificate are judged to be exceedingly very, very competent to go to the network, and this gives them a competitive edge over other graduates of engineering. Yes, we do. We have programs for non-technical staff and support staff. And one program that I would want to emphasize here is that we are coming up with a program on the electricity market. The essence of that program is to allow non-technical staff to really have training on the electricity market, because as a result of the privatization, there is now provision for aspiring utility workers who are interested in venturing into the area of power purchase agreements, for instance, legal drafting in terms of agreement on power purchase. So we're coming up with an electricity power sector, electricity market program to ensure that we train both utility workers on building competence in electricity market activities like PPAs. We're also targeting young professionals in the public who seek to build career in the power sector to venture into this training program. Another program which we are already into and which we think will benefit Nigerians, the young Nigerian teaming youths, is our program on solar PV installation and maintenance. We have a program on solar PV installation and maintenance that will equip young Nigerians. They may not necessarily be graduates of engineering, they may just be technicians and those who have some basic knowledge in the sciences to really build skills in the areas of solar PV installation and maintenance. Now, this is very important because Nigeria has a program, has a policy of energy mix of 30% renewable energy by 2030. And I want to believe that this program will create a lot of jobs for our young Nigerians.
You're watching Power Wheel, TCN's weekly focus on efforts at improving the grid and power supply. We'll be back shortly. The management of TCN has appointed a new project director for its Project Implementation Unit, PIU. Engineer Jane Nneka Okemini takes over from Engineer Paul Nwogo, who has been overseeing the projects funded by the Agence Française de Développement, AFD. The new project director was officially introduced during a project presentation familiarization meeting with the consultants handling the TCN Abuja feeder scheme.
Engineer Kemini explained that the meeting was organized to identify the actual status of the running contracts in the company and to have an update on what the consultants have done, what they are doing, and what they are yet to do, among other things.
I am presently the new project manager for AFD, and the reason for this occasion is for you to give us the actual status of your running contract and what you have done, what you are doing, and what you are yet to do, so as to keep us, the new team, abreast with what you are actually doing.
In his presentation, one of the consultants, Engineer H.O. Edereka Great, highlighted the general project overview by giving a detailed explanation of each project.
This consists of over 81 kilometers of new 132 kV double circuit transmission line. There are three components of this. Line. As you can see, the 11 kilometers of new 132 kV double circuit line from New Akpo 331 332 substation to Old Akpo. Second component of that lot 2 is 42 kilometers of new 132 kV double circuit line from New Akpo as well, substation, to proposed Kuje substation. And the third component of that line is 29 kilometers of new 132 kV double circuit line from proposed Kuje substation now to West Main. Lot 3 consists of two numbers, 150 MVA, 330, 133 kV substation at New Akpo, GSP bar, equipped with 2 by 330 kV line base, 3 number 60 MVA 132 kV transformers, including 6 by 132 kV line base with 3 by 132 kV line base extension at Oracle.
The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, has said that the methodology for the future review of tariffs in Nigeria's electricity market would be made clear to customers to end the prevalent suspicion about tariffs in the country. Speaking at the recent Presidential Quarterly Business Forum, QBF, in Abuja, Fashola said there were misunderstandings about electricity tariff issues by consumers, noting that the government has decided to make the processes simpler to enable them understand how the tariffs they pay for electricity consumption were arrived at, as well as a justification for them. He disclosed that the government decided to work with the World Bank to create the Power Sector Recovery Program because it needed the support of the bank to clear up existing operational challenges in the power sector. The chairman of Heirs Holdings, Tony Elumelu, has urged African leaders and development institutions to address the deepening unemployment crisis on the continent. Elumelu, who is the founder of the Tony Elumelu Foundation, made the call at the Youth Connect Africa Summit in Rwanda while speaking on the theme, How do we create 10 million jobs by 2020? According to him, access to electricity and increased focus on the agricultural sector would enhance entrepreneurship and tackle the challenge of unemployment. TCN's MD, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed, says TCN can no longer be regarded as the weakest link in the electricity value chain in the country, as it has consistently remained ahead of the generation curve. Mr. Mohammed, who made this known at the quarterly meeting with staff of the company, expressed appreciation for their doggedness and hard work in achieving this.
Mr. Mohammed, who also commended the National Control Center, NCC Oshobo, for its tireless efforts in coming up with a daily report on feeders for communication to the government and public, noted that more needs to be done to take TCN to higher level and assured staff of better days ahead.
What I've done under Kingsley is that they came up with a daily report on the situation of the feeders. They came up with a situation on a daily basis, how many number of hours that feeders of the distribution companies were out from each of the interface that we have. This is what they did. And that information is communicated to the government to say, look, this is the situation report. And that is why, that is partly the reason why everybody agree now that we are not the weakest link.
Government's commitment to increase revenue based on appropriate tax regime following the drop in price of oil. For government to fund its expenditure now they depend a lot on tax, and they've come up with a template. The template has been given to TCN, and they were working on it and studying to see how best we can cope with the new tax regime. Management is also not unaware of the fact that if this is implemented 100%, it's going to have dire consequences on the take-home pay of staff. Therefore, management has recommended some palliative measures, such as increase and more allowances and constitute more pay. Because I want you to understand that management also gets salary, and management gets to pay tax, because the higher you go, the higher taxes you pay.
The meeting featured a question and answer session bordering on staff welfare, training, regularization of contract staff, and new tax policy.
We think the time is coming to a close, MD, that you have to look into these allowances and ensure that you get the approval no matter whatever it takes, because it was discussed with an approved authority and a constituted committee, which both of the bodies agreed upon. So please expedite action to get across to the minister or whoever. Let them give this approval. Let them get what is due for them.
There are some of us who are contract staff here, much younger men and women, vibrant, that we feel that this 6 monthly renewable contract given them should be looked into. After 6 months, the contract is renewed again. Meanwhile, these guys were here when the last when the last recruitment exercise took place, but they were not considered. Please, that area, the union, SSA as a body, would want, or as an association, we want that area to be looked into.
The MD CEO, who promised to address the concerns raised, also appealed to staff to continue to work as a team.
General Electric, in partnership with Power China, has proposed to increase the transmission capacity to 10,000 megawatts and also tackle some transmission bottlenecks. GE team leader Khalid Noor said this during a meeting with the TCN MD at the corporate headquarters in Abuja.
The capacity of the generation and transmission is intended to be enlarged, and we understand also that it's very important that the transmission to cope with the expansion at the generation side. So we think that we have investigated about the additional energy to be added to the capacity of the installed bases in Nigeria, and we think that the minimum that the transmission also has to react in the same way and have to expand the capacity of the generated power to evacuate and to reach to the consumers and distribution. So we built our study to modulate the transmission network of the TCN at 10 gigawatt according to our understanding that we have like 2 giga to be added by gas and like 2.9 giga very quickly, very soon will be added also through a hydro project of the generation.
Earlier, GE spokesperson Ajibola Akindele revealed that the company had investigated and understood the technical issues in the power sector and have a strong commitment to support the sector.
It is a commitment that we are willing to partner with you. We are willing to partner with your partners. We have a strong commitment to support the power sector as a whole, not just transmission, because as you know, on the generation side, we are the dominant player in Nigeria. And at this point, we're really looking to tie our work in generation with transmission so that they are synchronized, they are aligned. We're having discussions with the government on the generation side, with the private sector on the generation side. We wanted to synchronize it with our ideas in transmission.
TCN MD Usman Guru Mohammed acknowledged the reputation and credibility of GE in the power sector and urged them to optimize their presence by expanding the grid.
We know you are role in those places and it's commendable. I know GE came in when we started this NIPP and they've taken over a lot of power plants, especially built by NIPP and NDPC. And we are happy with your interest in transmission. We hope you will also be interested in distribution because that's where we have the weakest link. Because transmission, yes, it's still on public asset, and as public asset, we have certain capacities that the distribution company don't have now. Because we have sovereign guarantee partners, and the distribution company don't have.
That's it on Power Wheel for now. We look forward to having you join us again. Remember to subscribe to TCN Power Wheel on YouTube and watch this and any other past episode of the program. As we leave you, let's remind you that vandalism of transmission or any other power equipment is sabotage. It keeps us all in darkness and could cost you your freedom or even your life. Desist from it. I am Sheung Olagunju. Thanks for watching.